sorry, not Michael Bay, Bill Gates, actually a little bigger than Michael Bay, my old partner at Digital Domain. So he brought in Microsoft. We became the in-house internet bank of Microsoft, WorldCom, EMC, successfully sold that in 2004. And Virtual Bank, I'm very proud to say, is still operating 20 years later as one of the earliest internet banks, obviously quite successful. Back to FaceBank. Yeah, along the way, we've learned a lot about technology. We've learned about content. We've learned about businesses of scale, and that really all comes together in our development and roll-up strategy. In terms of technology, we're a leading digital human technology company. Our principals have achieved incredible success in visual effects. We've taken that experience into facial rigging systems and human animation, and we're going to develop our own technologies and continue to build on what we have, some of which I'm going to show you. But we're also going to buy companies, frankly, that are, I think, trapped in services models, incredible technology, and by and large are giving it away on services margins that ultimately aren't going to be valuable for them in the long run. Those of us that come from the visual effects community understand that you can win awards, you can impress the world, but unless you own a piece of the intellectual property, you're not really getting anywhere. And so that gets me to our next point. We have a focus on content and IP. Technology is incredible. It drives a lot of this stuff. It opens up the eyes of consumers to content in ways that we never imagined. I mean, look at all the great entertainment companies that we can think of, and they're all driven by something different, incredible technology. Remember, the first time you saw a Pixar movie, it just looked different. It didn't look like a cartoon. Think about Netflix today. You know, if they didn't have such an incredible user interface delivery platform, you might not be watching all those kind of B-level quality shows that we're all falling in love with and getting addicted to. At the end, technology in the entertainment space is like today's next delivery platform for what's really the most important thing. It's always been about the poem, the song, the movie, the show. Content has always been king, and technology does wonderful things to help us enjoy content as our interests change and our habits evolve. But in the end, it's really true. You know, that cliche, content is king. It always has been. And intellectual property, you got to own it. Otherwise, your technology is going to get run over. It's going to become obsolete. Today's great technology company is tomorrow's roadkill unless you own a piece of the IP. So our development strategy in terms of what we're putting our money into, some of the properties we're going to show you, our acquisition strategy, if we can buy undervalued media companies, we'd like to do that. And then this last point, audience. I'm not sure if it's because I'm 54 and I'm impatient, or maybe it's something that I've learned, but size matters. These great apps, they don't just get viral, right? I mean, they get viral on a platform. They get viral because you're prepared not only with a globally relevant and fun and exciting new app, but you're prepared to take it to the world. So you've got to have the infrastructure to be global. You've got to be able to collect currency in all those countries. And you got to have an audience that's paying attention, because no app matters, in my opinion, unless a billion people know about it. And so as we look at our strategy, we're going to be developing technology, acquiring technology companies, developing content, not a lot of development. We don't want to invest too much there. We think we can buy IP and partner with IP very efficiently. And in the end, size matters. Expect to see us do deals in our roll-up strategies that give us audience and get the really fun things that you're going to see today out in front of the world. Now, why do we think we can do it? What kind of support we have? Do we have? We have incredible shareholders. Tencent Holdings, they're a company that backed Original Force Animation, a terrific company out of Nanjing, China. They've got offices in Los Angeles. And Tencent Holdings funded Original Force Animation to fund us. They led the deal. We got $10 million through them, and they wanted to see what kind of applications we can bring into their environment. Well, what do they own? They own WeChat. WeChat is the principal way that people communicate across China. About 1.2 billion installed users. So we're not the most important company in the Tencent portfolio. They only gave us $10 million through Original Force and the leadership of Original Force. But it's a great partner to have, and you can bet, and we've already started this a few weeks ago, we started banging on the door of Tencent and Original Force in China just before the new year, ready to roll out the FaceBank applications to a very large audience. And hopefully our shareholder that put a lot of money into us is ready to take us in front of their WeChat environment. That's why, we think they invested in us, and it's a tremendous strategic shareholder to have. The Lego family out of Denmark, incredibly supportive. They own a number of great media assets, not just Lego. Highlight Event and Entertainment, Highlight Communications, a tremendous company in Europe. They own 12 or so Marvel characters in partnership with Marvel. They control the marketing rights to UEFA Champions League. And a couple of these brands across the bottom, we are actually owned by the estate of Marilyn Monroe, the estate of Elvis Presley, and the estate of Michael Jackson, which actually helped us to create this company a number of years ago. The big owner behind the brand of Elvis Presley and the brand of Marilyn Monroe actually gave us some news this week. Just yesterday, we put a press release out there. We're happy to say that the people that matter to our business strategically and financially know exactly who Authentic Brands is. We signed a significant strategic partnership with them. They're a company that owns a ton of brands relevant to us: Muhammad Ali, Elvis Presley, Marilyn Monroe. But they have a lot of living celebrities as well: Greg Norman, Shaquille O'Neal, Dr. J. They own Prince tennis rackets, Volcom, Juicy Couture. They bought Sports Illustrated, also very relevant to some of the stuff we're going to be talking about today. And as part of this very significant strategic partnership with a company that has $10.5 billion in retail sales reach across their brands, they're now very willingly and excited to be taking us in front of their consumers. They have 265 million Instagram followers, and the deal with them actually obligates them in a very friendly and cooperative way to take us every month in front of all 265 million of those Instagram followers. And now we're exploring some really exciting ways to start extending the digital likeness of their celebrities across so many of these new applications. Authentic Brands Group is a significant shareholder, and as of the deal we signed with them this past week, now they're a significant partner. Our top level goals, this is, unfortunately, I can't give revenue guidance right now on this slide, and we're going to be doing that in the coming months. But we're basically a $200 million revenue run rate company right now, based on an acquisition that we're going to talk about today, an acquisition that gives us reach into 180 countries currently and 400 million customers in our customer list. The reach that I'm talking about there in terms of customers is actually referring to the Authentic Brands Group deal that I talked about a moment ago. In terms of celebrity faces, we're signing digital likeness agreements with celebrities that I'll describe, where we own anywhere from 5% of the profits that would come off of virtual ABBA to 25% that would come off of the digital likeness applications associated with Elvis, Marilyn Monroe, Muhammad Ali, 25% with Floyd Mayweather, 40% to 20% depending on the application with Michael Jackson. And we have 0 consumer faces now. So this is a year that we're going to use our celebrity relationships, our reach to all these customers, to start scanning, storing, protecting, and activating consumer faces. We have a goal towards the end of the year to have customer reach across partnerships and contracts where we truly can access those customers of 565 million consumers, 50 celebrity faces, and 50 million consumer faces that we hope to have scanned into FaceBank by the end of the year. 2025, those are big numbers. Customer reach of 2 billion, celebrity faces of 100. That's actually pretty easy, we think. Consumer faces of 1 billion. That's going to be tough. But when you start off backed by people like Tencent Holdings that own assets like WeChat, that's a target that we think we can realize. There was an app that a lot of people heard about called FaceApp. Everybody was scanning their faces into an app, and they could see what they looked like in a beard and hair as an older person. In about 3 weeks, that app scanned about 150 million faces because it was just fun. And then we woke up and realized we had just given our face to a small company in Russia that when we pressed the I agree button, we were giving them a royalty-free license in perpetuity to our face and all the photos in our phones. So people are a bit crazy when you let them sort of play around with their selfies. This is the selfie culture. And that's one example with FaceApp where, one, you should have been caring more about the protection of your face. And 2, because it was so fun, 150 million people in 3 weeks, we think some of the applications that we have will allow us to reach this goal of 1 billion consumers in the year 2025. I want to talk about some operating results real quick, and we're going to make a little bit of news on this call. We're going to give a first indication of our fourth quarter numbers, really just revenues and EBITDA, and we'll give more details in the coming day. Third quarter numbers, 5.8 million in revenues. That was our first revenue quarter. Fourth quarter, 49.5 million in revenues, a significant increase, significant volume of commercial activity starting in the fourth quarter of this year. That puts us at about a $200 million run rate. And then 53.3 million that we'll report for 2019. Now, there is some audit risk in that number, as there is in every number. But given the fact that our European subsidiaries are already communicating that number in various ways that they're required to do commercially, it's important that we give you that guidance on this call today, because it really is a situation where a little bit of Google searching and you're going to be able to find that number now out in the public. So it's important that we share it immediately with our shareholders. So incredible revenue growth over the last couple of quarters, from 0 in the second quarter to 5.8 in the third quarter.